This video is going to go over an explanation of what I did for the capstone assignment for the tax calculator application. Basically, it had a couple main pages: income tax calculation, sales tax page, large sentence tax, which is basically some regular strings with some rules built in. I followed these guidelines pretty strict, and I did it pretty much exactly what the instructions said. Take over the application. Instead of doing different pages, what I did was I did different like div tags. I put the main instructions here, and then I had my links to the sub pages in the background. And what it does is it just kind of refreshes the page like it's a whole page. What I'll do is go over a demonstration of the application, and then I will show you the functionality of it. In the background, I have a jQuery script running that changes the background between a bunch of different tax forms. And if I click on the income tax, it kind of fades out the screen and then fades it back in. Now, for the income tax, I actually went to the IRS website to get the different tax brackets, and then I set the filing status. So let's say if you're single and you made $100,000, then that would put you in the 28% tax bracket. Now, this is done via AJAX query in the background that sends a request to a ASPX or ASP web service. And it calculates back these two fields. Now, if I was to be married filing jointly, it automatically updates it and looks up the tax bracket and drops it down to 25, and it tells you how much tax you would owe. Or if you're married filing single or had a household, whatever. But it does it automatically whenever you change the values, so it's very responsive. It doesn't need to reload the entire page. Under the sales page section, you just put in your amount of your purchases in the state. So put in, $2 million, and the state of Michigan has a 6% tax. Now, if I change it to Arizona, Arizona has 6.6%, recalculates all the taxes that are owed, and so on. It's pretty simple. So California has a 9.7, so you'd owe this much tax. Now, the states in this drop box are actually added from a data source. This is actually an ASP control. The rest of these are just standard HTML. So I used an ASP control for this with a bound data source being the state tax class. So I'm going to switch over to large sentence tax. This one was kind of complex. It had a bunch of different rules for various letters. So what I did was I just had this box where you can put in your sentence. You can type in the sentence, and what you end up with is it just kind of breaks everything down by letter. It gives you your total of how much you owed. It tells you what the sentence was, and it tells you per letter how much each letter costs, and you got a special phrase tax. And then if I was to add some exclamation points, those also have a punctuation tax. So those are added in. It tells you how many of that particular tax occurred and what the total line cost was for that. But this is all done dynamically by sending requests back to the ASP service. I'll open Firefox so I can just show you the what it's doing in the background. Okay. So when I typed in there, it made one post in the background to the this AJAX web server, ASPX web service, and it called the process JSON request. And the post was all these attribute tags, and the response was, let's see, response was that, but actually it's JSON encoded. So the response was this message, and then you have the line items, which is just basically gives you a bunch of different lines, and an OK statement. So those are the three variables that are passed back. All right, so that's that. That's the application's functionality. Now I'll just show you what I got going on here. The majority of the tax related calculation stuff is done using this tax class that I created. It has the state tax subclass, and then it has a sentence tax, which has all those complex rules. Both of those inherit from tax class. The income tax got a little bit more complex because I had to look up all these tax rates for 2012. So I actually put that in a different tax brackets class. The web service, I had to initialize the serialization, or import the serialization library. Basically, it just kind of switches through based on whatever attribute was selected and instantiates the whatever various tax class, and then calculates the response. Now, all of the requests are processed through jQuery response, or jQuery responses, and the way I handled that was I would apply specific classes. Let's say for default, let's go for annual income. Let's look at the source code of that. This is just a standard text box, but I applied this Ajax event class to it. And what that does is, if you go into my this is the JavaScript jQuery code. On the Ajax event, what that does is it initializes the result area, and then it uses this attribute's name. So it tells it that it was this income, which in this case it would have been income. Okay. So it says the attribute ID is going to be income, and then it passes it to the Ajax web server. Okay. So based on the attribute ID is how I use the switch inside here. So here's the first one. When the attribute comes in as income, it knows that it's going to be, doing an income bracket calculation. Now, if I look under a different variable or a different class, I use the same Ajax call event, or the same Ajax event class, for the sales tax. So I look over into the sales tax. It would have been sales tax would have been dropped in here, and then that would have brought us down to, let's see, sentence sales. So sales matches up all the way to there, and then it tells us we're calculating sales tax. So that's how I handled all that stuff. Mostly just one simple line. And then this is the changing of the slideshow in the background. And to switch the pages, I have various, as you click on this function, then hide this page, or reset the result area, reset the line items, and then all these different IDs for the elements of the page, we're going to fade them out and then fade them back in. And then I put like a 500 millisecond delay on the response, so you really could see the whole effect. That's it.